what I wanted. I went through all the setup and then I like turned on the wrong camera. But good morning, everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I'm here today with some announcements. We will eventually do an unboxing of a massive box that I guess, is like bigger. I think probably the biggest yarn order I've ever placed, which you can't really see right now. I'm sitting down and this is the box and it's massive. I have it in the thumbnail. It's a massive, massive, massive box. It's a wool to dye for order that I placed. Nothing is sponsored. I paid for all of the yarn that is in here. Eventually we will unbox this because this has the yarn that I need for Halloween, for upcoming Hanukkah. It's got some yarn for the return of the neon rainbow yarn mop. That picture is with it under a black light. And then we will also be dyeing some fiber. Oh, that's not the audio that I want over here. Give me a sec. There we go. I think that's the audio I want. Let me check. Of course, like I come in. There we go. Okay, that's the audio I want. Let me check. Okay. Oh wait, no, I didn't mean to pause. I just meant to mute. Okay, because I'm like, I want the audio of the camera that's right here. No, not the one that is way back there. For when I am sitting here. Now, there may be a little elephant in the room. But let me check the chat real quick. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. It wouldn't be me if I didn't get injured again, right? It is a very minor injury. I don't know if it's related to all the spinning I was doing or if I slept funny on my arm, but my elbow has been bothering me, and so I am taking steps to limit my movement. I feel like I can, like, if I feel like I am pushing my body too much, I'll stop. I've been very good about that, but it's mostly a reminder to try to like not use it, and also the compression feels kind of good. So I'm fine. We don't have a major injury yet. But yeah. So I did just launch yesterday 2 pre-orders, which I've alluded to and pointed to. And yeah, we have, if we go over to my shop, and I need to make sure I can see, oh my gosh. I need like a streaming setup with many monitors. Okay. Because right now I have everything crowded onto one camera. But we have 2 new listings. This is an old listing. This is my neon rainbow yarn mop. Here you can see some under just normal indoor light, and here's some with a black light. I dyed this using a fluorescent pink, orange, yellow, green, purple, and a non-fluorescent blue. And really, we have the colors just randomly applied onto the yarn. If you've watched my content a lot, you know that my yarn mops are bonus skeins of yarn that I create while filming my videos. Usually if I have dye powder on my gloves, I should be using my left hand. If I have dye powder on my gloves, I will wipe that off onto the yarn, creating random patterns. Now, for this particular colorway, I do this on purpose. And I think that I might have dyed more of this colorway than I have any other in my entire life. And so I have a short that features it that is going a little viral again. And so here's some of it. Actually, I have one I can show you that is on one of these zebra bases. That is not an option today. Some other just examples. The yarn base options that I have here, which you can't see when I pull down the drop menu, we have the yarn that has neon fluorescent neps in it, both in stock weight and DK. There is the neon net yarn that has a little bit of mermaid sparkle, also in stock and DK. And then just a standard 75-25 stock yarn, a superwash merino DK weight yarn, and a superwash merino worsted weight yarn. So those are the 7 options. And this is dyed to order-ish. I plan to start shipping this with my Halloween yarn in mid-October, but the neon mops might ship a little bit sooner. Because the other thing we have is the return of the mystery Halloween yarn. And I have a really exciting plan for this year. There are technically 4 options, but there's really 2 options for the Halloween colorway. There is a fingering weight sock yarn and a DK weight yarn. And the yarns are both, as it keeps moving the description. The yarns are both, oh no, I messed that up. No, I didn't. Okay. The sock yarn is 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon. And the DK weight yarn is 100% superwash merino wool. I'm double checking this. Yes, okay. Fine. That is correct then. There's like a moment where I'm having a brief panic. I don't think that this is, I believe that there is nylon. In the fingering weight yarn I ordered. Oh no. Rebecca has a panic moment live on camera. Why can't I? My account. Okay, yeah. The one that I have is the one with nylon. Okay. Confirmed. At least with what I ordered, and if I made a mistake, then this is something that I can fix because I can order the other one. If I actually have the sock yarn that is just fingering weight superwash merino and not the 80-20. We're fine. We're fine. But the Halloween yarn will ship. I have it pinned in the chat. I have it linked down below, and I'm popping them in the chat again right now. The Halloween yarn will ship early to mid-November, and at the latest, mid-November is the latest it'll ship. So that way, hopefully it can arrive in time for Halloween. And the Halloween yarn will come wrapped with some kind of themed progress keeper. And the whole thing is so much fun. I love bringing this Halloween thing into the mix, and I can tell you a little bit more about the yarn base maybe when we unbox our yarn order, but I do have some of it on hand upstairs already. It's different from last year. Last year we had yak. Okay, but then the yarn or the fiber that I have up there that we're going to dye, I figured we'll start dyeing some fiber before I do the unboxing because I think that that's more exciting. And inevitably there are down times. And so I think if my yarn's like, okay, I'm tired, I'll probably take this off to dye the yarns just so I have a better range of motion, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Good morning. But yeah, so yeah, those were my big announcements. But yeah, we wait, where? What on earth? Oh, that's so funny. I was on here and I was like, oh, I have that image in here from like last year, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, we can get a feel for how big this box is. Yeah, and so I'm thinking, oh, the fiber that we're gonna dye today. Aha. Even though my camera is in a very awkward, nope, where am I? The problem is that when I sit down, I have all these old things, like old random images. Ooh, that's so pretty. I have random images in here that I bring in for various streams and then I don't delete. And so then it's like cluttered of the things that I can turn on and off. But right here, I have 200 grams of full circle rove. Now, this is fiber that I have both dyed and spun myself multiple times. And I think I was saving it because I was like, okay, I'll dye something that I want to dye 400 grams of for myself. And then ultimately, I think I decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and dye it. I still have 200 grams of it left. But what this fiber is it's a blend of recycled wool. So these are wool bits. I think there's a mixture of merino, fine Highland wool, and Peruvian Highland wool. And I think that it's bits that were left over from spinning yarn. And they turned it into some, this was, gosh, I think older than my kids, probably. They turned it into some natural shades of roving. They also had yarn that they dyed that they, the blends, there's no percentages because I think that they just didn't necessarily know, but they blended things together and it's really, really cool. You want to learn to dye yarn yourself to make one-of-a-kind clothing? Awesome. That is perfect. And I think that my videos might be helpful. I need to do like a back to the beginning, like beginner videos, but my Dye Pot Weekly series that we're in like the mid 600s of now, I started my journey of dyeing yarn with acid dyes in that. And so those older videos, my techniques are not necessarily my skills aren't as, I think my skills now are better than my skills were back then, but you can see like my nerves and how nervous I was. And so I still like to recommend if you want to just play around and you aren't sure what you like, food coloring is a really cheap way to just play and try. And then, yeah, you can move on from there. But my phone is blowing up. I am sorry, everyone. Okay. I'm going to move this and we are going to jump in. Okay, as I blow out the camera. But oh yeah, I have my figured I was like, okay, I'm announcing Halloween. I'll wear my fun little scarf. But now back to just a regular clip because I will be wearing a deluxe rubber respirator mask, safety glasses, and gloves when we go and deal with dry dye powders. That is really important. I'm very big on like personal safety equipment. And then I will, all the tools and equipment I'm using are dedicated for dyeing yarn and are never used for the preparation of food. I think those are the big disclaimers I need to give, but let's go over to the counter. Ooh, would you recommend, oh, this is a Tina, great question. I would not recommend food coloring for worsted weight and sport weight cotton. If you're interested in dyeing cotton, I do have a whole cotton dyeing playlist where I have played around with a lot of different types of dye lines, including RIT, like some like one-step packets, like Jacquard has like a eye dye for cotton yarns. I've played around with a lot of those things. For cotton yarns, I recommend getting fiber reactive dyes and soda ash. And you can also use the fiber reactive dyes on wool later on. So that is the biggest way I would recommend for cotton yarn. An easy way to get started with dabbling would be to get some kind of tie-dye kit. I have a ton of videos where I've played around using tulip one-step tie-dye in various techniques to do that on cotton yarn. More recently, I'm moving more into the commercial fiber reactive dyes because you have more control over the pigmentation when you alter the pH and add the soda ash. But then also there's a bigger range of colors. And ultimately it's cheaper, I think, too. So, but yes, so there's a whole, you just got acid dyes, you'd love an introduction video. So, okay, let me pull something up. I need to find this. Okay. YouTube. I need to go to me. Okay. I don't know if it's still on the main page of my channel page anymore. Okay. Videos. Past live streams. Okay. So for like dyeing with Kool-Aid, we've got some real beginner friendlies here. Here we go. Dive into dyeing, a ChemKnits and Knit Crate collaboration. These videos are, oh my gosh, from 2019. So they are old at this point. Oh my gosh, my hair was so short. But most of these videos are not on my channel, so I don't get too much benefit from them, which is why I kind of need to redo things. But they are this playlist, which is like right on the main channel page. I will link my, I can't type, dyeing playlist. Okay. And so I talk about safety, how to make a stock solution. I try to make these videos, like the ones that have the dive into dyeing, I try to make them a bit shorter, a bit very direct, with less of my like commentary around, because I just wanted it to be like, okay, this is what you need, this is what we're going to create, this is where we are. And then some of the ones that are like the thumbnails look more like that, those are videos that are on my channel. And the unboxings back in the day, that was very, very fun. Okay, but so yeah, those are some like recommend, like they're still videos. I'm sure I would do things differently that I am proud of, but maybe the back to school September session should, if I stream, should be me working on that. I mean, I do have clips where I was working on things like this because I had a thing that was like a written document pamphlet thing that never saw the light of day. And so, yeah, I had filmed things around then. And then it hibernated because I was waiting for it to come out. But yeah, I mean, the good news is with this project that never came to light, I was fully paid. They wanted to pay me half when the project was released. And I was like, you know, I've had experience with a project that hibernated for many years. So can we pick the date we expect it to be published and then say I will be paid the second half at that date? Because then if it gets delayed, I'm still paid and not sat like holding like the bag or whatever. So I was fully paid for my work. So at least, but you know, there was still the cross promotional benefit, right? Of having my name on a website, having a publication, having something people would get and potentially buy. And like, I wouldn't make money if people bought it, but then it would be recommending me with more information. And so it was like, I don't do anything necessarily just for exposure, but the exposure was a big part of it. But I do think I was fairly compensated for my time. So anyway, let's dye some fiber. Nope, that's not where I want to be. There I am. I will have to move that. Okay. I need to, hopefully my phone will stop going on. Oh, I need to make sure I can see. How am I going to do this? I may have to adjust the front facing camera again in a bit, but I want to see so I can make sure that it's working. Okay. Because then I can move this smarter. and said I was going to take off my brace, but maybe I don't want to get dye on it. I was like, I could probably dye yarn just like this. How am I doing? Oh my gosh. And I have this big scar here because I had a run-in with a rusty fence. If you ever wonder how I store my dyes, I use these IKEA bins. And then I stack the dyes in them. Now, the Dharma dyes do not come with these labels on them. They do sell stickers now that you can get. And then you can, but which I bought some. Oh gosh, where are they? But I haven't used them yet. Wait, I think I may know where they are because I would probably have stickers for a couple of those. Just checking one last place. Found them. Found them. Okay, so let's see. So before I bought a poster and cut it open. But now they have stickers. Okay. I need, there's only going to be, oh, I also like that they're in color order. That's really nice. Okay, so I have my old sea spray that still has the label on it. But I have a sea spray right here. It's not centered, but that's fine. And Tornado Gray has a sticker. Woo! But Muck Green does not have a sticker. So that's sad. I also got the stickers for the fiber reactive dyes. And what I love here is that they show the way that the colors break, because that's never something I remember. So these are some of the ice dyes up here. And then you can see all of these on their website, but then you can see like, okay, Brilliant Blue has a little bit of pink in there. Well, a lot of these greens are really pretty. I wonder what these ones are. Prepare to dye, trust your muck. I don't know what those stickers are. Maybe they just had extras. But like, okay, so I have, maybe I have Raven Black, which I got because it broke blue. And I bought that intentionally. So, yeah. I can add those stickers onto my jars and then have like little stickers on them, like I like to do in my videos. And so I find that super, super handy. But I want to, I was like, this may be an episode of Dye Pot Weekly at some point. So I want to just film a clip. I'm like doing this so I have the footage mostly as like a backup. The main colors today are going to be 3 colors that The main colors today are going to be 3 colors I used recently. We have Dharma Acid Dyes Sea Spray Tornado Gray, Tornado Gray, and Muck Green. Now, Muck Green doesn't have a poster that I've cut out or a sticker I've put on because it was a whoops color that they had and released. So it is currently stickerless. Now, potentially I'm going to add a little bit of deep magenta in the end, but we'll see. We'll see. So now I'm going to go put on my deluxe rubber respirator mask, safety glasses, and gloves so we can start applying the dye to our yarn. But oh, I want a mop. Right here, I have a bonus skein of Knit Picks Swish DK. This yarn is 100% superwash merino wool. I pre-soaked it in water with no acid yet. We'll add acid eventually. And I'll use this as I have dye on my fingers and we'll wipe things off. Okay, those are the bits. Okay, I need to like throw my phone across the room. Okay. Hopefully the sound isn't showing up on camera, but I want to make this dark or brighter. So let's see. And I'm going to move things to make sure it is on camera. There we go. Now the plan, I think, is to dye this with like, what order would I want to do? Maybe gray, blue, green, or something. And then in the end, I might add a little pop of pink on top. And so I'm planning on working the main colors through, and that is the plan. That is the plan, and we'll see how it goes. But I need to actually get my like respirator and everything together. Hee hee. And feel free along the way to ask questions and stuff. The hardest thing about my elbow is that I desperately just want to spin some more yarn, but I have to wind the yarn off the spindle onto the bobbins. And all the spinning I was doing, so when my elbow started hurting, I'm just getting some vinegar ready. I was like, oh, spinning doesn't hurt it, but that actually could be what was hurting it, just like the drafting. Like that wasn't painful. So I didn't think that that was a cause, but it's maybe aggravated it. So we'll see. It's just sore, but I have a history of pushing through some soreness and then ending up with a massive injury. So that's what we're trying to avoid. Okay. I don't know if this is the first time I'm going to apply dry dye powder to roving and then try to work it through. We'll see. But I'm going to start in the middle with the sea spray. This is a very pretty blue-green color, and I'm hoping
to get some amount of saturation. Now, as I'm bringing over the powder, I am trying to spread it out, but also I am trying to layer it on pretty heavily. I don't want there to be any big clumps because I don't want the colors to bleed or anything. And so that is my reasoning there. But now I'm actually coming over and starting to work this through. Now I know earlier I was saying that I think 16 cups of water might be too much. But right now, I'm actually, as I'm moving this through, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad at all. So I think that that has me pretty happy. Okay. Now, I do think I will keep building this color more, but beforehand, let's just see where we are with our other colors. And now I'm bringing over the muck green, and I'm going to do the same thing and layer sort of a fine dusting of powder before coming and working it through. Now, I am going to want to do this a few times if I want the colors to continue to build. This, I think, will not give me something super saturated because when colors are wet, they are going to look darker than they are when they are dry, and this coloration is not that dark yet. I do, however, have a lot of confidence that these colors are going to go pretty far throughout the fiber. And the thing that is giving me that confidence, and like I don't think we're going to end up with a lot of white space beneath, is that whenever I do these kinds of techniques, oh, and I'm making sure my gloves are very dry before I go into the next color. But whenever I do these types of techniques, and just sort of speckle onto the fiber and then let it be still, and just sort of let it be and not touch it, the colors end up spreading all the way through the fiber. And so then that isn't a problem, but we don't end up with something that is mega saturated or anything. And so if I want more saturation, then I'll have to think about that. Now, we could end up with some of the natural colored fiber left over. The tornado, maybe I was a little bit heavier, but we're definitely feeling more of it than we are the other two colors, at least right now. I am really, really liking this. And I have no idea if I'm going to decide to bring that pink in or not. I'm undecided at this point. There's a little bit of pink that's on the yarn mop. I wonder if one of these colors breaks a little bit pink, or if I could have had some pink dye left over on my gloves. That I don't know. But what I can do, well, is show you that there's a lot of dye left in here still. And so I think what I want to do voiceover is repeat what I just did, layering on the sea spray, the muck green, and the tornado gray, and working those colors through before we've even added any acid. Rebecca, time lapse now. Okay, chat, I don't see any questions. Okay, sea spray was in the middle. Sometimes if I feel like I'm doing something that's a little repetitive, that's when I go to a time lapse. But I also do this uh, sometimes when I'm wearing the mask, because you know what I don't love? I don't love when I'm wearing my respirator mask, editing around my breath. Because since it is harder to breathe, right? I find myself taking these big breaths, which actually isn't as bad today, but I do find myself doing that, and it just irritates me. So I think that that's pretty funny. Okay. Now, one thing that is helping us today is that our fiber itself, oh man, it's looking really dark on camera. One of the things that's helping us is that the fiber itself is dark to start with. If it was a pure white, then the colors wouldn't feel quite as deep. Ooh, I'm gonna have to like put up a poll and ask if I should add the pops of pink or not. Because that, I don't know. I like this as it is, but I also love the idea of doing something a little bit less expected. But the nice thing is that, yes, some of this green may spread over the blue, and that is fine. Everything is fine. No problem here. The question is if at home you would even be able to see the paint. Wait, I can't see the chat. Can I? Why am I seeing things there that I can't see over here? I'm glad you like the green and the blue. I don't know why you're not showing up. That is something I'm gonna have to look at. I added a lot of the gray. Oh, I like this so much more than playing with liquid dyes. Now we could have some white sections around, like where the colors blend. Oh, but this has me so happy for some reason. I'm really, really happy. Okay. I think okay, I think what I want to do now is add some acid in. And I'm going to come in, I think, with 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 tablespoons of white vinegar. And just kind of work that through. Starting with the blue of our sea spray and then kind of going over to either side. Because I figured that would have the least impact on those other colors. Now this is bringing a little bit of acid into the yarn mop, which is fine. We'll want to have more acid in here eventually. And just so you can see, we're someplace really pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna just let this sit for about 10 minutes before I do anything else. And I'm sitting for 10 minutes, mainly because I don't think a lot of action is going to happen right now. I don't think a lot of colors are going to absorb, but I just want to give things
a little bit of a chance, you know? And then I can make a poll so we can guess. But this is weird. Oh, and I can try to figure this out. Let's see. To camera. Hello. Why? Oh, whoa. Okay, that was stupid for 2 reasons, but I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why some of the comments are showing up here and not anywhere else. That's so weird. I am. Good thing I am on the back end. Let's see. Settings. Yeah, weird. Okay, I was just making sure that nobody was like blocked or anything. That's so weird. Okay, but anyway. Yeah, okay. Oh, poll. How do I make a poll? I was like, okay. Should I add some pops of pink? Okay. I am dying to know what you think about that. Just because I think that some pops of pink could be really, really fun. Now, I should try to put these back in the folder. So I will say I have another colorway where I used these colors with the pink. And so that's where, like, the idea did not come from a background. Now, this bright magenta, if I add the speckles on, that will spread, like if I add little pops, it'll bring in some like purpley notes. I think it would look pretty. Like, it won't be a bright pink because obviously we've added all these other colors on. But I would add it as like little bitty specks. I would add it as little bitty specks on everything. But yeah. And of course we're tied right now. Of course we're tied right now. I think that this would be beautiful and dark without it. I think that it would, what it could do is add a tiny bit more dimension into the color sections. But yeah. That is just me. Now, the other thing is when I dye non-superwash wool or fiber, when we're at the stage that we are with, or I suppose I should point up here even though it's right there. When we're at this stage, once I start applying heat, things will spread and move. And I think that that's because at cold, like more diffusion happens when things are hot. And so I've seen this sometimes when I pour dyes on even with superwash yarns. I'm like, oh, they're not moving around a lot. And then you add the heat and then all of a sudden things start moving and I should be careful. And then all of a sudden things start moving. And so, yeah, I think that things may not feel like things could blend so much more because I might have too much water in there. I don't know. I don't know, and I haven't decided. But yeah. Oh, we got an edge. Okay, the pops of pink are edging out. And of course, like I'm loving this. Part of me was like, ooh, I want to spin this. The starting dying to spin round 2, that is something that is going to hibernate until sometime in the future. It's going to hibernate until I figure out. Fine, I'm going to put this back on. Even though I'll take it back off in a minute. I'm like, I'm going too big. It's going to hibernate until I know that my elbow is fine, right? I am so mad. I mean, at this point, I'm also going to be starting to go big in on Hanukkah yarn and Halloween yarn dyeing. And so I actually had I was starting to work on my newsletter that is for ChemKnits patrons. And I have a very blurry vision of like my video release schedule and just sort of describing what things are. But I don't think you can read any of the text. But it's sort of like, the realizing when I'm doing this is that when I do Hanukkah, which is typically 10 to 11 videos, right? That in doing that in the span of a week, that is over a month's worth of videos. Because normally I post 2 videos a week. So that is like, yeah, so it's a lot all in one like little window, which isn't a bad thing. Like I love, love, love doing it. But the I know a lot of my time in the fall is going to be focused in that direction. I do in my schedule try to add some like streaming time, but then I know I'm like, okay, I might need to, I'm having like a work day and streaming today. I gave myself in August, in the end of July and August, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 1 pre-edited video a week and 1 stream to bring like to make life a little bit easier. And I think that's been hopefully working pretty well. Of course, I am ramping up the release of shorts because I think that that's what I am being told I need to do as a creator. That is what the market is showing. And so, unfortunately, I'm not stopping the long form videos anytime soon. I love doing it. Those aren't going away, but I am trying to share the shorts and things more regularly. Oh, you know what I should do now that I haven't done? You can insert an ad. They always want to do it automatically, and I get nervous about that. And I can check. Woohoo! I got paid by Google. That's great. Okay. Oh, cool! I'm seeing it on my monitor, and I'm seeing the side-by-side ad. What I don't know is if I am muted or not. That I don't know. But that was cool. I think that's the first time I've seen the like side-by-side. But yeah, oh man. There's my timer. Okay. I am going to reset up. Nope. There we go. Reset up. And I'm going to do this before I even put my mask and everything back on. But there is so much color in here, right? That is a lot of pigment. And so the decision that I'm going to need to make, because, oh, let's see what the poll says. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is very, very close. Why can't I? I got muted? Wait, did I get muted? I got muted? And now I'm not talking now. So yeah, let me know. Oh, I need to put on timestamps. Oh, you can hear me? Oh, during the ad. During the ad. Tara, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I got muted during the ad. I was like, uh-oh. Okay. No, you guys are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Basically, some of what I'm working on are videos that are not on my schedule anywhere, but then I have filmed because sometimes life happens and I can't film anything, and so then I have footage I can turn into a video, which is good. Okay. We have a lot of pigment in here. Like all the colors, there is a lot of pigment. Now, I suppose before I go ahead and do what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add more acid. Because after I just kind of quickly work this through, I'm not going to want to touch the fiber again. Oh man, which makes me a little nervous. But things will spread, especially once we add heat. Okay, but now that we have our base, I am going to come in with some deep magenta. And I think you can probably see it go on. I'm trying to be a little bit sparse, but not too sparse with it, as I add these little pops of pink on. I want to do, there we go. And that is all I have planned there. Now, if you have not watched me dye roving with dry powders before, you may wonder, Rebecca, what are you doing? What's about to happen? And well, the first things first, I gotta rub this pink all over my yarn mop, and I'm intentionally spreading it out on there. So that is what's gonna happen first. But what's gonna happen is that this color is gonna slowly sink in, dissolve, and spread through the fiber. And it's gonna end up being really, potentially subtle.
And so now I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to try to not move the camera in the meantime, so we can let these colors sort of dissolve and sink in place and see what we're going to see. But even if we don't see something now, we would probably see something once we apply heat eventually. Oh, and from the earthy green, Rebecca, because here's an example of before I started heating things and after. And you can see that the colors I just speckled on top moved around a ton. Cool. Cool, cool. Oh no, never apologize for telling me anything. I appreciate it.
Okay. And now this is why I said we would do the unboxing later. Because I knew that I was probably going to have a big period of waiting. As I set everything back up. Okay. Put my glasses away. Take the hair down. I don't always put my hair up when I dye yarn, but sometimes I do. Yeah, it's gonna kind of sink in. And let me actually show you the pictures that I was talking about. I need to wait for that to bring him up. I have a whole folder called Screen Grabs from Editing. And in there, I have cringy things of myself. Oh my god, I'm massive. That is hilarious. I don't know why I decided to pop that in. But I have to wait for the folder to sort by time. Okay, so wait, I thought I had. Did I lie? Okay, so early on, scale. Oh my gosh. Oh, Control F. Okay, we can do that. Okay, so that is early on. And then the second image I put, the lower one, this is after I applied heat. So I did at some point with the top image, I did work colors through at one point and then speckled more on top. So it's not all of that was from diffusion, but I'm trying to see. Okay, but here is an example of some fiber that I dyed, which before it looked like this, looked more similar to the top one. And then I did not touch it, and the color spread and moved and got a lot more pastel. And so, yeah, and so like some of those greens ended up being incredibly subtle in that one. So they will, and the pink is a color that does strike fast. But this is going to blend through in a few ways. One, it's going to be like a pop of color that may be darker in some areas than others. The pink strikes pretty quickly, so who knows what that's going to do. It also then, as you spin, is going to get drafted and blended throughout the fiber. And so, yeah, and some of the streaks, the yellows that popped up came from one of the greens that were up there. And so, yeah, I don't think that that's quite before heat and after heat, but the heat does cause things to move around. And so I thought that was pretty fun. But oh, I remembered what I wanted to grab. I know I want to do the unboxing, but we have a lot of yarn that was just added to the shop, but also two things that weren't added. Okay, so here, I'm planning on weaving with this. Here is, this is a neon rainbow yarn mop on a zebra base. And it is one that is more like pastel than some other ones can be. Now, the zebra base is not an option on the dyed to order neon rainbow yarn mop, but this is an example. I think I'm going to weave with these, and I think I'm going to try to warp with this, but do it in a way so that way the colors pool. We'll see if that works. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do that. But this is from my personal collection. So I have to start using some of that. Okay, but what I wanted to show also was this, and this yarn is available in the shop right now. But here we have a yarn with neon neps, and you can barely see a tiny bit of the mermaid sparkle in here. This is a yarn base that is available for the neon rainbow yarn mop. Oh, and that roving that I showed the picture of a minute ago, it's in the shop. But yeah, those neon, I know it's out of focus. I think the autofocus is off. The neon neps with the sparkle is really, really fun. I think that is its own listing. Where is my, uh-oh. Let's see. The shop. Okay, there's the Halloween yarn. Aha. This is the variegated DK sparkle yarn that I was showing that has one of these pictures. There. You can see those neon naps that are in there. The neon on the zebra is really, really nice. Oh, the other big thing that I've added, and so this is this is the 2025 Hanukkah, but there's an unwrapped set. There are a couple of wrapped Hanukkah samplers available. But yeah, you can get it unwrapped at a discount. Oh no, that's SMSMS, where you can find those yarns that are left. So yeah, this is the 2025 samplers that are still available. I was hoping to launch 2026 yesterday, and then I realized I can't because Etsy won't let me process things long enough, and so it was just Halloween. Okay. But yeah, this is the bucket of yarn that has to go upstairs for me to sort. And we got some spoilers for things coming up. Oh, actually, this is got some of those colors that I'm using right now. But my whole shop is full of spoilers. You just ordered some Halloween mystery yarn. Woo! Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, I need to check something before I do this unboxing. Okay. I wanted to make sure because on the window, that is the window where I go like that I show when I'm doing the web browsing, that's where I was logged in to my back end of YouTube. And I was like, I hope I didn't show any of that on camera because I don't think I'm supposed to. And that would not be good. Not be good at all. Okay, but we can unbox. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay. Gotta move the cord. Hopefully I did not unplug. And we are still charging because you know what I learned the hard way once? I learned the hard way that sometimes when the stream doesn't work, this is way too heavy for me to lift up. Sometimes when the stream doesn't work, it is from, I have words. Sometimes when the stream doesn't work, it's because the power isn't working. I know you can't see in the box really. And unfortunately, I cannot pick it up. Trying to be extra careful with like mostly dull kid scissors. It's like Rebecca opens the box in the most like goofy way ever. Okay, there is another layer. Like Wool to Die For packs their boxes really, really well. Oh yeah, but the fiber I was dyeing is from Knit Picks. I am a Knit Picks affiliate, but I'm gonna try to. Can I bend that out of the way? Not really. I am a Knit Picks affiliate, but what I was going to say is that I need this to go away. There, okay. And then I make, well, that one isn't as bad. Okay. Oh, but I didn't link to the full circle roving because it's like been out of stock forever. Okay. First things in this order should be six bags, as I like toss these aside, 6 bags of sock blanks. Now, 4, 6. Ooh. And I'm like praying that I ordered the right kind. Yes, okay. There was a moment of panic that I was like, did I order single-stranded blanks? No, these are the fingering white ones. Okay. So the sock blanks, they're knit pieces of fabric that I dye and then unravel. And they are awesome. It's funny. I love the platinum blanks. They are cheaper than the Knit Picks stroll blanks. I like the stroll blanks better because they don't, if I was going to dip dye with them, they don't unravel as easily. So that is the big difference there. Okay, next up in my bin, we have some platinum. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. These are 20-gram mini skeins. Those are all for Hanukkah, and I also have them in DK weight. Because when I do Hanukkah, I do the same fiber content on 2 different yarn weights. How many of those did I order? Okay, let's check these off. I know they checked them, but then I have that. Okay, I did do 2 of one and 3 of the other. Fine. I was like, okay. Next up, this is a base I have not dyed before. This is Lotus. I'm digging through to find its counterpart, because one I have dyed before is the Yak Silk DK. This is a sneak peek for Hanukkah. The silky yarn this year is a Yak base for Hanukkah. And so the Yak Silk DK, which is 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% Yak. Before, when I did this, there was a slightly different blend of fibers and fingering weight. But the new to me Lotus, which I haven't used, is the exact same blend. It is 60% superwash merino, 20% Yak, 20% mulberry silk. So it might be slightly different. Like the silk might be slightly different, but I have a lot of these. Oh man. So 4 bags. So that is 40 skeins of yarn. Now wait a minute. Okay, now the blanks, I had 6 bags of 5. So that was 30 skeins of yarn. The 5 bags of minis is, each one has 5 skeins. So that's 25 skeins of yarn. So this is a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. Okay. Now there's yarn here that I ordered by accident. This is the second time I've ordered this by accident. So the one that's not by accident are the Neon Neps. This is the DK weight, 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal net yarn. That is one of the bases available for the Neon Rainbow Yarn Mops. And I had intended to order just the fingering weight version of the same thing, but I accidentally ordered the mermaid. Which is fine. I had only had 3 skeins of the mermaid with Neps, but I was only planning on ordering, I wasn't planning on ordering this base, and I ordered this one by mistake. And so the Neo, this is the Neo's mermaid fingering, 80% superwash merino, 10% dongle nep, 10% stellina, and it's the mermaid stellina, the same. I showed off a DK weight of that earlier. But oh my gosh. And again, I paid for all of this myself. Yeah. So that is those. Now, unfortunately, there is one thing that I ordered. Whoops. Nope, that's the mermaid. Merino's, oh no, that's, I haven't shown that one yet. The Neo DK and the Neo Mermaid fingering. which I realized I made the mistake when I was checking because I got an email that I got a refund from Wool to Dye For. And I was like, that's weird. What is missing? I ordered more of the mermaid sparkle yarn, not because I have a plan for it, but because I wanted to have it on hand for when I have a plan for it. And unfortunately, that got refunded because I guess they ran out. And so I don't know if this means I placed an order at the same time as someone else. And because I only ordered one bag, and if maybe, maybe if there were 15 bags left, maybe if someone ordered 15, they got precedence. I don't know. I know that for me, this is such a massive order, but I know for other dyers, this is probably a small order. But it was still like $1,600. So it's scary. It's really scary to place orders this big. Okay. Next up, this is also going to be for Hanukkah. We got a sparkle yarn with... Oh, man! We're going to let this sit longer. I'm not ready. All right, so I have 20 skeins of a gold sparkle yarn, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% gold stellina. And the reason why I decided that I'm going to go with gold is because I was going through like my inventory and I was like, oh, I have a 10 pack of sparkle in DK and a 10 pack sparkle of fingering weight. It's like perfect. But then I realized one was silver and one was gold. And it doesn't usually matter that much, but I had to then make a choice. Do I want to do silver or gold when it comes to Hanukkah this year to be consistent? Because part of me was like, well, I could do silver and gold. That's a bit of an inventory nightmare, especially because I haven't decided how I'm going to dye it yet. But some dyes will stain stellina sometimes. So I've had silver stellina turn golden, and I've had it turn a little bit pink. Occasionally, not frequently, but I've had it like get stained before. And so I'm like, let's just go with gold. And so I got this, guys. I wish I could show you this gorgeous pile over here, but I'm not going to. And we're approaching the bottom. And I have one bag of the gold DK because I already had another bag upstairs. But I like it when I can, a lot of these, if there was an equivalent in worsted weight, it would be nice to do that as well. It's not always possible. So, yeah, but I'm very excited about this. But I'm happy to do at least 2 weights. Now, I'm curious because I lost count. So that's 30. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, plus 80 is 190 skeins. And then there's 20 left, which is going to bring us to 210 skeins of yarn. That is a lot of yarn. Now, what's not here are the 10 gram mini skeins. I've ordered those already. I should have enough. I plan to order like some more yarn potentially soon. Like if one of the yarns for Halloween, if one of them sells out, which I don't believe we're having any kind of inventory issue yet. Nope, that's not what I needed. I only add to a pre-order yarn that I physically have on hand. Oh, what I didn't say is I do have yarn mops also for Halloween. And so those are like bonus skeins of yarn. And so, yeah, but they also will come wrapped with a progress keeper. But okay, now is coming a spoiler for Halloween. So spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Because I am going to show the yarn base that I'm using for Halloween this year. If I can reach it. Zebra for Halloween! Yay! Zebra, zebra. And so I have some more upstairs as well. And so this is the thing where, like, if I sell, like, I never, so like right here I have 10 DK of our 100% superwash merino wool zebra yarn base. And what I never list 10 because what if something happens, right, when I'm developing the colorway? And so that gives some buffer. So there will be a restock at some point. But if what I have sells out, then I will order more if it's available, and I will restock the pre-order only if I have the yarn in my possession. So I'm very careful about that. But then I also have the fingering weight one as well, which is fun and beautiful. It is so, and this is the 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And so basically, it's a 2-ply yarn. One of the plies is variegated black, white, and a little bit of gray. And it is somewhat repeating in there. So it can pool. Those zebra sections can pool. But then it's obviously reskeined in a way so that it makes it more random. So actually, one of those yarns I showed earlier, let me bring back. Okay, these are not the Halloween yarns, but this was dyed with the zebra base. Okay. So you can see that I dyed this in a mostly repeating rainbow, right? And so then that has a chance that it could pool with whatever is made with it. But then running through them, like some of the strands have no zebra, some of the strands have zebra. So the secondary, it's almost like if this was going to be as it was spun, I don't know the length of the repeat, if it's the length of the skein, but certainly reskeined, we just redistribute everything all over. So there are two things that can pool with this yarn. The zebra part itself can pool, but also the like neon sections here could pool. And so I think that that is pretty fun. Thank you. I am very, very excited about it too, because I was sitting there and I was thinking about a technique I was going to do to add like pops of black onto the colorway I had in mind, which is another colorway that I may come out with again in the future. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, or to have some consistency, I could do the zebra and have that bring the black in with other colors. And so that's fun. Now, you know, these are neon rainbow yarn mops. Depending on how Halloween goes, I may add a zebra option to the neon rainbow yarn mop, but that depends on Halloween pre-orders, and that probably would not happen until closer to Halloween, as that is all comes together. So yeah, oh, you know what I need to check? Okay, before we go back to the yarn, I want to do one quick thing. And I'm waiting. Yeah, oh, you know what? Okay, I can insert an ad. Because I need to check something. Studio. Okay. Strange. Did I pause or was I really sitting that still? Oh no, I guess I really was sitting that still. I was like looking at it and I'm like, I'm not moving at all. Did I pause because basically on my computer I have the video up in like 3 different ways. I have what you can see here, um, but like in very real time. So it's like I'm looking in a mirror right now. I have that on the computer with the controls to let me swap between the different scenes. Then I have what is currently streaming on YouTube with the YouTube controls in a different window. Then I have the chat. Uh, and so, yeah, it's just yeah, it's a lot of windows. And this is why, like, it would be great if I had my dream streaming setup. I would have the computer with probably 3 monitors. One monitor off to the side that is the like stream controls that I can check and see and then shift things as needed. One that is like the chat and anything else I need to reference, like in the middle. And then one that is on the other side, the like YouTube controls, so I can check that and see how that's going. And then, yeah, I would have a space where I could like work and do what's needed. Because then when I do want to go, over here to the shop and then work in this kind of screen, then all of a sudden I need to, yeah, then I can't see anything else. So that is something that I have to deal with. But yeah, I'm excited. And don't forget the mystery Halloween yarn will come wrapped with a fun Halloweeny progress keeper. And the neon rainbow yarn mop, where are we? Up there. Up there. That is sort of uncoupled from anything. It won't be wrapped. There's no progress keeper or anything that comes with it. It's just a colorway that people have been asking me again, do you have more of this or whatever? And so I brought it back. What yarn weights does the zebra come in for Halloween? Fingering weight and DK. I'm not sure now if it has a worsted option in superwash. I don't believe so. I think that the worsted is only non-superwash. Yeah. Which is like a little bummer. I mean, I have dyed this colorway on the worsted weight non-superwash zebra in the past, but it's funny because I like non-superwash yarns, but I like dyeing superwash better. So anyway, all right, let's go back to our yarn. Now that's been more than like 30 minutes. Where is it? This one. Gonna put my precious away. Okay, so oh man, my earring fell out. What I can tell right now is that there is some dye that hasn't dissolved on here, but actually, let's check the replay. I'm curious. Oh, I can't magnify it. Is that because I have info? There we go. It doesn't look that different. It's been about 30 minutes. And I'm going to be honest, things don't look very different here. I do see what looks like some powders that have not yet dissolved into our fiber or anything. And I am going to just quickly Ooh, wait, that might be lighter. I'm like looking for a spot that doesn't have very much pink. No, there's still a ton of dye there. Okay. I was like, maybe things are striking, and they are, but not a lot. So now I'm gonna have to take this over to the stove, and I'm gonna start heating it slowly, letting it come up to temperature. Ideally, we want to be at just below a boil. We want it steamy, but not rumbling. Occasionally, I let things get too hot. It's not the end of the world. But let's go to the stove. And I'm going to film these clips because I'm being smart. And here we are at the stove before I've added heat. Voiceover and after. And after. Okay. I'm turning the heat on medium. Sometimes I go a little bit higher when I start, but yeah. And here's our yarn mop. I will steam set her eventually. Part of me, I pre-soaked more yarn. Part of me thought that like, oh, I would dye more yarn. But I think I'm realizing a few things. As much as I want to go and dye more yarn right now, Lucas is home. He is, I think, doing like a Tinker Crate or Hack Pack or something right now. So he's involved, but he's going to want lunch. So I'm going to need to reconvert my house. I mean, we're going to order lunch today, but I'm going to reconvert my house into a regular home. Yeah, wait. At least it didn't land in my dye bath. Oh, yeah, so Lucas is home, and so I'm gonna need to release him from he's up in the, like, near Keith's office now, hanging out. And so he's fine, but yeah, I'm gonna have to release him. And also I'm going slow for my elbow's sake, and so maybe later I will try dyeing that other yarn, because I would love to have it dyed today, but I'm being extra careful, and yeah, I think that that's important. The other thing I will say about Wool to Dye For, the only thing I'm bummed about is that technically I got an email being like, oh, there's an update on your order, but I didn't read that because usually it just says that when it's shipped. I wish that they had sent me an actual email to be like, hey, this yarn is out of stock. Is there like something else you would like instead? Or they don't even have to ask if there's something else I would like instead. But I wish that they had actually like communicated to me that it was out of stock in a way that was not just like an update of the order, because I didn't pay attention to that. And so it wasn't until the credit card emailed me to say that I got a refund that I knew that it wasn't there, because it's not even listed on this packing slip. Like on the packing slip, they check things off as they put things in the box. And so that item is here, but doesn't have a check next to it. And so, yeah, it wasn't mentioned on the packing slip at all. I think that when they were pulling the yarn for it, that's when they realized that they didn't have it. Or who knows, maybe the yarn was damaged or something. And so, yeah, that is that. But I'm so glad that you love zebra yarn. But yeah, I mean, but otherwise, like, their boxes are packed. Can I lift this down to show you? They're like double lined to reinforce it. So that way, I tried sitting on it. It wasn't sturdy enough for me to sit on, but it's sturdy enough to withhold getting crushed on a FedEx truck or UPS truck, and therefore it doesn't ever burst open. And so then I think that that is really, really good. But yeah, I guess the rest of my day, I have a lot of editing to do. That's my big homework. But I'm trying, you'd be so proud of me because I have used these last few weeks. It's funny, I have this whole spreadsheet, and hilariously, the spreadsheet is called This Week in the Dye Pot. Because back when I was doing this spreadsheet goes all the way back to like the Kickstarter, and the very beginning of me scheduling those videos, and oh my gosh, like planning those first 35 episodes, and like when they were going to come out and doing all that planning. And I don't think I color coded things the way I do now back then. But so This Week in the Dye Pot was before I was like, no, Dye Pot Weekly. Like, This Week in the Dye Pot doesn't have a good ring on the tongue. But I have a bunch of videos. Like, I think I'm done. I am with an asterisk because I still have to edit the September's Dye Pot PS episode, which patrons will get early access to with the newsletter. But September is done. Like, I am done with September, and which means I'm also done with August. But I mean, August is almost done. And I am well into the plans for October. And so that feels really good. Because I hit a point in July. There was a Monday when I was like, I don't have a video for Tuesday right now. Because sometimes I make the schedule, I build up videos in advance. And then I took some time off in June. We had family come into town, and I took some time off and I wasn't editing. And then I'm like, well, I've gone through all my reserves. And I hit a point where I was like, oh, I went through with an asterisk, I went through all my reserves of videos that I had filmed but had not edited yet. And that was very nerve-wracking. Now, I still had some things that I could do as a backup. I have some things that were incomplete with footage that would need talking heads and things. So there's still like the deep archive of untouched stuff that I haven't used. But yeah, I have a lot of things that I can bring forward and play with. So I ran out. And so I'm like, okay, I need to build up my collection of videos that I could edit if needed on a quick basis. But they don't have a space on the schedule yet. And sometimes those are some of the videos that end up being in the last minute lab partner options. They're videos that I don't have them on the schedule. And as soon as I put them on the schedule and edit, then I remove it from the last minute lab partner option. But those kind of just, they hang out there as backups. And so, because things happen and I have to go slower. And now, if there is ever like God forbid, there's a situation where I am unable physically to dye the yarn that I have pre-sold, I would issue refunds, like full stop, like, and I would communicate about that. But I am confident in my ability to still execute things. I think that I'm taking pains to make sure this is a very temporary, like 1 to 2 week thing versus like my last back injury was like a 6-month thing. Which, I have to give myself grace too. I was going slow this year because I had a major injury that I was dealing with. Oh my gosh. Oh, the life of a Rebecca. But anyway, go and check out the new yarns that are in the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop and the new pre-orders. We have both Halloween available now and the return of the neon rainbow yard mops. And yeah, I am really excited to see where those colorways come together, and I appreciate all of your support. But the biggest thing you can do, whether or not you want to buy yarn from me, no pressure. Although I did just place a massive bear yarn order, so it would help. But again, no pressure, no pressure at all. The biggest thing you can do to support everything here is by watching the videos and engaging with them. When you leave comments, you like, you share, all of those things really help the channel grow because it helps either new customers find me, but also I do make some, not a ton, but I do make some revenue from the ads and from people just like being and watching me on social media. So that absolutely does help. Yes, I am trying hard and going slow and taking care of myself. I've had like a pretty light week, and I just got the brace in yesterday, which I think is helping. Before I was like using a sling to just try to get me to not use it very much. And that was really hard because I'm like, well, I need to use it some. But anyway, hopefully, like, it's at a point where I could push through. It's just the one time I ended up with the bad, like, I messed up my wrist. I mean, it was my right wrist. Oh, I'll be right back. And after I've applied heat, the big thing that I'm noticing right now is how much lighter our gray feels compared to the green, which a lot of the blue has moved over here, and the blue, because that definitely looked way darker before we had the heat. But I also know that what tends to happen in these situations is the colors with the heat, they tend to move down the fiber. And so we'll see once things settle, if we end up with the darkest patches like here and here over where the heating elements are. I don't know why things move. I mean, I guess it makes sense things move from where it's colder to where it's hotter, but anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on this, and we're going to heat it for at least 20 more minutes. And it does look like those pinks have dissolved. But it's really, really funny that the gray right now looks lighter. And so that amuses me. I don't know how well you could hear me because this microphone is pointed over there. But yeah. Oh my gosh, my hair is so much lighter. Oh my, at the bottom. I don't dye my hair. Someday I would love to dye my hair. I would love to dye my hair with fun rainbow colors. But the upkeep, it like doesn't last very long, right? And so I'm low maintenance with my hair, and I was like, I don't want to have to deal with like updating it very frequently, and I also don't want to bleach it. So that is what's cuts me. But my like the red gets so much more red like as my hair gets longer. But anyway, I was signing off and telling you to subscribe and do all the YouTubey things. I really, really appreciate all of your support so much. And for hanging out with me today. And next week, I will have a video on Friday. And so I'm not planning on streaming it all next week. But then the kids go back to school. And when they're back in school, then I can easily stream and things again. Because, yeah, then I have the house to myself. This is what happens when I only put one kid in camp. Because the other kid is 12 and I mean, he had some camp, but anyway, thank you all so much for being here today, and I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.